Hello, dear friends. This is Kira Rudik, member of Ukrainian Parliament and leader of the political party Holos. I'm speaking from Kyiv, Ukraine. Today, I will cover three major points that happened over the last week. The first, the ceasefire and why it was not prolonged. Second is suspicion issued to President's ex-chief of staff and what this means for the corruption fight in Ukraine. And third, of course, last night's Ukraine's attacks on Moscow that were confirmed and what this means for the acknowledgement of Ukraine's capacity to win this war. Before we start, please subscribe to this channel, like this video and leave a comment. I read them, I appreciate them, and it's really a good chance for us to communicate. Thank you. So, first and foremost, President Zelenskyy hoped that Russia will continue a ceasefire, and honestly, we all heard some signals that it could be that while President Trump meeting Xi Jinping, there would be a prolonged ceasefire. Unfortunately, Russia decided to go the other way. So instead of trying to wind things down and move forward towards peace, they decided that they would rather show some so-called strength. And so they launched a couple of massive attacks on Kyiv, again, killing people. They hit a residential building with a missile, killing at least 24 people, including 3 children. That was terrifying. And this is yet again one more war crime that cannot be forgotten or forgiven. And of course, we are fighting back. And so this night, Ukraine has launched an attack on Moscow. We have hit some of the military objects and, of course, infrastructure objects for Russian gas and oil production. Obviously, it instilled a fear and discontent onto Russian citizens, and this was our intention. We hope that once the war gets to Moscow, once the Russian elite starts feeling it, and not just people from suburban areas who are joining the war to get some money. Once really elite will start getting afraid, there could be a pressure that would be launching on Putin. At least this is our hope and this is our strategy. Also, we are showing the whole world that Ukraine is at this point capable of launching their attacks like this, and that with the help of our partners and allies, we were able to manufacture certain things, certain means to fight back and to create threats for Russia so that perhaps we can move forward towards peace through strength. It is critical right now that all the administrations, our European partners, President Trump's administration, sees Ukraine not only as a victim, but as somebody who is able to pay back an investment. For the last 4 years, we have seen many people believing in us, many leaders, many countries who said that they will be supporting us with the weapons and supplies, but that Ukraine also needs to build its own capacity. Well, we have done that, and you see the results right now. And you see the results on Russia's comments and Russia's fear on that these attacks can continue. We hope that they will continue and that we will show the world that Ukraine is capable of moving with President Trump's plan, peace through strength. Russia can stop it at any moment. Ukraine has offered ceasefire multiple times. They will stop killings, we will stop attacking their infrastructure and their oil and gas capacity. And to the internal matters, this week the suspicion was issued to Andriy Yermak, President's ex-chief of staff. The suspicion in a case of corruption, and right now when we are speaking, Andriy Yermak is still in jail waiting for the bail to be collected. So this is a big deal for Ukraine because for the first time in history, anti-corruption organs were able to put together a case and proceed with it so close to the person in power, to the president of Ukraine. For more than 4 years, Andriy Yermak was the second person in the country who was holding all the controls and all the influence He was participating in all the international negotiations. However, nobody elected him, and he was not vice president. He basically was president's chief of staff. And to know right now that he was involved in the corruption cases, in the massive money laundering, is something that, of course, is shaking Ukraine's society, and I'm sure many other people who were supporting us. Of course, the biggest question right now is it feasible that President Zelenskyy didn't know about it, and that it was all happening around him, but he didn't see any hint, and that he didn't participate in any of this? But that's a matter that anti-corruption organs will have to investigate. Meanwhile, we see that they are working. Obviously, we know that probably the ones in power will be fighting back. So our goal, and my goal as an opposition, is to make sure that we are protecting anti-corruption organs so they can complete their job. And that would be a concentration for the next couple of months, probably years. This is very critical. So every time somebody is telling you that Ukraine is a corrupt country and that there is a massive corruption going on, the good answer perhaps is that we have an institution in place that is doing its job to make sure that this stops and never repeats again. It pains me personally that at the time when we are collecting money for the front line, at the time when many people throughout the world are still supporting us and sending us some aid so we can survive, there are people who are concentrating on getting money for themselves and doing it against all of the laws. But unfortunately, this is not something that we can, again, fix once and for all. What we can do from the political side is we can set up independent institutions, then give them ability to work without the pressure, and then hope that they will do their job. And if they don't, then relaunch them and allow them to continue doing. Unfortunately, there is not a better way in the whole world, and what we have learned in the history that this is the only path forward, so we are going with it. We appreciate everybody who was very supportive on this way. So again, we really hope that there would be unraveling of this case, and we will hear more about it. Together with my colleagues, we are working in the temporary investigative committee, where we are calling for many participants of the case, the ones who were on the so-called tapes of this case, who are mentioned there, and who allegedly could be a part of this grand corruption schema. So I will be updating you on the matter if there will be news on that. So that's it for today. Thank you so much, and glory to Ukraine.